So it begins. Welcome to my first video ever on YouTube. I'm so excited to start this podcast. I've been wanting to do this for a long time now, so finally we found time to do this, and I will do it once every week, hopefully next time with a guest. Since it's the first podcast, I'm going to be the guest, and I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Not the whole story, of course. It's not going to be that long of a video, this one especially, but the other ones are going to be the long form content, so people could come there and share their stories in a long form. Not like Instagram or TikTok where they could just speak to you for 8-10 seconds and you will not know much about them. So this is going to be the long form content. So I'm not going to invite people who tell you what to do, who knows what to do, but don't do them themselves. Creators, real entrepreneurs, salespeople, or any sort of profession, artists especially, and they would come there and share their long form stories with us, so you and I could both learn something from them. Let's begin with me. My name is Feroz. I'm 24 years old. I'm a college dropout. I live in Germany, in a city near Frankfurt. I own a business and I recently started to do some content creation as well. It's been almost 3.5 years that I've been living in Germany. I found it exciting. It's a little difficult of a country, but I like it. I like difficult things. I'm used to it because I enjoy things that normally people don't enjoy. I like to try new things every day, every year, every week, every second, and that's how I feel more alive. I feel more happy, and I get to live as much as I can in this short span of a lifetime that we all get to live. I just don't want to live with regrets, and I want to fulfill the potential God gave it to me. So that's me. I'm a little old-fashioned. I like art, I like music, I like sports a lot, and I like business, among all other things. So you could learn about me as we go on, and also you can learn about me through my Instagram or my TikTok that I will also start using. I'm not much active in TikTok, but I will do that as well. So the second thing, the podcast. The podcast is very simple, just like the podcasts of the other great people, the other podcasts that I follow, like Williamson's, like Joe Rogan's. So if I'm going to do a podcast, why not do like the greats? So it's going to be a very simple podcast. I'll have guests. I'll ask them questions, so you would know and get connected with them in depth, not just see them in Instagram or in TikTok in a very short form videos without knowing really in deep what type of a people they are and what kind of experiences they have learned and what kind of a wisdom they can share it with you. So this, we will do it in here. So the rules of this podcast is very simple. It's going to be uncensored. People can say whatever they want to say since it's a free speech country. Well, not 100% since we are in Germany. Not everything could be as much as free speech as it is in the United States, for example. But since everyone has their own opinions, there's freedom to say whatever they want. Learn about them and their experiences as much as you can, about their life stories and everything, however they want to share it. So there's only one thing that I will be avoiding, which I personally it's a personal thing, selfish thing, and it's going to be no politics. I hate politics because of a few reasons. Firstly, that I wish not to be a politician, and secondly, I'm a very clean person and politics is a very dirty business and I do not want to get into it. And the third reason is that it never made sense to me at all. The politics has always been a big question mark for me. It consists of a lot of lies, a lot of manipulations, a lot of anything is beyond my comprehensions, to be honest. Just like yesterday I saw a video. It was a video that rockets were coming to, I don't know, it was Iran or Israel. One of them were receiving such rockets in their city, the big city it was. I could see the buildings and the rockets were hitting them. Why is the person living in those buildings, who is doing a normal job like 9 to 5, who is paying the rent to stay there, just watching TV, and bang, a rocket comes and he dies? You see, my question is that what did he do wrong? The people who are getting their houses blown, their family blown, they're just dying. For what? What's their fault? So it's a very big question mark for me, and I try to keep away from it as much as I possible, and I keep away from the people who talk politics as well. So let's move on. Sales. The most important skill a businessman can learn, or a regular person can learn to better their lives. See, sales changed my life, not just in the professional way, also in a personal way, because things you learn in sales, it also changes the perspective of your life. And it was very helpful and beneficial because it opens your mind about the reality of the world. I went very deep in sales and about the salespeople and about the businessmen who learned sales, and through their experiences and how they lived their lifestyle. So I'm a little obsessive when I try to do something. I do it right, and I do it as much as I can. So for me, it was very important, and it changed really my life. So sales, typically, if you want to see a salesman, a true salesman is just an assistant buyer. So the job of a salesman is to help people. Simple as that. See, personally, I hated salespeople because all the salespeople that I had encountered with were these piece of shit, manipulated, lying people who would just make you buy their product to whatever method they could use. So the question is, if I hated salesmen, why have I become one right now? See, the second I decided to get in business, I started to study the most successful businessmen. So the skill of sales is the one thing every businessman had in common. After that, my perspective about salespeople changed 360 degrees. Oh no, actually 180 degrees, because 360 would be the exact same, sorry. So my perspective changed 180 degrees. See, when you learn sales, you also learn negotiation, you also learn human psychology. So you can also misuse that. As I told you, I'm old-fashioned. For me, honor and dignity comes before money. So I do not mind being broke. I do not mind having nothing, because I've had nothing for a long time, and turns out I didn't die. But I had a lot of good network because of honesty. You see, in this day and age, which makes me very happy, you cannot lie much. Of course, you can lie a few times, but eventually people will find out. So I urge you not to misuse it. Second thing that I like the most is marketing. Now this is my favorite, and we can go on for hours and hours, and I can speak about this and tell you details that you haven't never heard about this, because I've dug very deep into this. So marketing, as I would describe it, is to make prospects aware that you and your product or your service exists. Simple. And through that, you could of course imply that why is your product or service better than others. That's marketing. Simple as that. Now, of course, it has a lot of categories and subcategories and parts and versions and everything, but the main point is to spread awareness and to know what people or what customers really want in the marketplace. Easy as that. So in this modern time, online marketing is very hot. You're advertising, you do your content creation, you do it organically, you do it paid, you do it through YouTube, or you do it through flyers, TV commercials. They all fall under this category. Now, why is marketing important? See, if you have the best product or the best service in the market, but nobody knows about it, what good is that product or service? Nothing. You could just throw it away. You could burn your products. It's useless. Now, the third thing, the simple one. Now, of course, it's not easy, but a very interesting one that I like. Investment. Now, there are a lot of people who think that investment is an active thing. It is not active. It is supposed to be passive. And it has been passive for a long time. So now, if you want to do investing, I recommend to do it passively. If you wish to do it actively, yes, of course, it's still your life, do whatever you want. Now, if you have a job, if you have anything, investment is a side job, it's a side quest, it's like a piggy bank. But if you don't want to be a professional investor, like people in Shark Tank, if you don't have that much money, like billions, or ready for you to just spread across different businesses and then manage it, or have a team so they could manage or be a part in their board, now I would suggest to do investment in small amounts and do it consistently. If you don't know where to invest right now, the things that I would recommend, I think, are the best investment in this time are the tech industry. So if you want to invest, do as much as you can in tech industry, like do it in Nvidia, in Apple, and buy the ETFs that consist most tech companies. Then you would have a nice portfolio. If you want to invest in a business, like if you want a very big chunk of it and there is an offer for you, or maybe you want to offer it yourself, it's like 10% of it, like 20% of it, or maybe 50% of that business, but you're not sure whether you should or not. And the first and most important thing that you need to consider is not the product, it's not the service, it's not the type of the business, it's who is running that business. You see, it could be a mediocre product, but the person running it can make it the best business there is. Now, it could be the best product, but a mediocre management, a mediocre business owner, or who runs that business can make it a mediocre business. It cannot go or touch the skies if the person who's running the business is not very special. Some people have a character, just like me, that once we want to do something, we do it, consider it done. Now, content creation. I call content creation the new currency. It's self-explanatory. You use social media, you're using it right now. So why are such big companies that make billions and billions and are worth almost trillions are available for you for free? Now that's something self-explanatory, because it is the new currency. Very simple, very easy. The last but not least, AI. Call it the new golden fish. You see, AI is as useful as it's going to be dangerous. See, it's very fascinating for me. AI is, as much as I don't like it, it is very, very useful. It can do things beyond your comprehension. It can help you in ways that no human brain can help, but that was obvious. You already knew that. So use AI to your leverage. Just make sure that you know how to use AI. Of course, AI helps a lot, but you have to know how to use it. It is not that hard, but it's also not that easy to use it the right way. So your jobs might be replaced by AI, but there has to be someone who could manage those AIs until, of course, the AI get the management jobs as well. Up until then, yes, learn how to use them. And there are a lot of them right now, and newer version of them keep coming, and every one of them is better and mind-blowing than the other ones. So know it, at least. You might not like it, it doesn't matter, because you will benefit from it. Otherwise, you will get hurt. So if you don't want to get hurt, then learn it. You see, I know this was a podcast, and this video was as much away from podcast as a fish is away from a tree. I am actually very excited, and I'm very happy, and I'm very thrilled. Now I have a lot of energy right now, because I get energy from trying new things, from having new experiences. And as much as this video sucks, hopefully in the next podcast we'll have a guest, If we don't have a guest, I'll still be the guest. So do not worry, there's always going to be a video every week. Maybe later on twice a week or 3 times a week, or maybe once a month, I don't know. We will figure it out as the time goes by and as we manage our time with work and business as well. So you can go check out my Instagram, and I will start to post a lot of videos also in my Instagram consistently, because right now I also have a plan to bike my path in social media. I cannot keep away from it for a long time as much as I like to avoid it, but since we live in this day and age, getting digital is a very crucial point. So in this life, I have decided to pursue business. The only way that I would stop these things is if I'm dead. So up until then, I'll just leave you with a quote, with a very simple and obvious quote that you have already heard a million times, but consider it as a reminder. See, if in our life everything went right, we will be the same as the robots, because in a robot's life everything goes according to the plan. Let's end this video and see you in the next one.